Hey guys, it's Nicole. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not, but I just wanted to get on and talk to y'all before I go to bed. I am at my mom and dad's house in Hot Springs. Hey Jordan, I know you can't see me, but I'm laying in the dark. I'm fixing to go out and smoke a cigarette. Hold on. Stay on the phone with me though, okay? Hey Brad. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that whenever I get on here, you guys will see me come on. Okay. And Shane, I love you too, dude. I'm not like mad at you, but I feel like what you're saying can be taken as like really hurtful and harmful, especially to somebody who is new in their recovery and it's just getting on Suboxone and, is really trying to do the right thing. Sorry, Mom. I'm going to smoke a cigarette. Okay, now y'all can see me. Okay, let me get this. I want to smoke a cigarette. Oh, I have matches. Okay, here we go. Now I can talk. Okay, guys. Y'all know, like, the whole reason why I started a YouTube channel and a Facebook group, etc., 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 was because when I was going into, when I first started, damn it, I don't have a lighter. Damn it. When I first started going to, like, meetings at AA meetings and Narcotics Anonymous meetings, that when I was going, I was really having a hard time, I was having a hard time finding my place. I was having a hard time finding a place where people supported me and didn't feel the need to say, well, you're not clean because you're on Suboxone. And I couldn't find that in NA because people in Narcotics Anonymous, they can be prescribed antidepressants, they can be prescribed highly addictive benzodiazepines, and they can celebrate clean time. But the minute it's a maintenance medication that, like Suboxone, everybody and their mama has an opinion on it. So I was really having a hard time finding my place in Narcotics Anonymous. So I started going to Alcoholics Anonymous, and so in Alcoholics Anonymous, what it teaches us is that there's no opinion on outside issues. And so, like, anything I'm prescribed between me and my doctor is between me and my doctor. And the only reason I ever made it an outward statement that I was on Suboxone is because I was having so many people contact me and sharing their experience of being on Suboxone and not feeling like they had a spot in recovery. And so I really wanted to share my experience on Suboxone to help other people know that they're not alone, and that, I've been there and I know what it feels like to have people say things like you're not clean because you're on Suboxone. Because it's not so much that it's from the people that are, usually it's from somebody that I really, really like, and they feel like they have to tell me that my recovery is basically not valid and that I'm not clean because that's their opinion, and that's the whole thing, you guys. If we really think about it, the only programs that tell you that you're not clean or in recovery if you're on Suboxone are 12-step fellowships. So if Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous, which are 12-step fellowships, are telling me that as long as I am on medication, it's between me and my doctor, that I'm clean, then everybody else's opinion really doesn't matter. Which is true, there's a huge difference between addictive behavior, and dependency. And I could go round and round with you guys about it because I've done it. Like, I've been doing this for about 2.5 years, where I have stuck up for other people that are on medically assisted treatment. and they are working a program of recovery. There's two different kinds of medically assisted treatment. There's being on methadone or Suboxone and taking the magic pill and thinking that life is going to change. And then there is actively working a program of recovery, going to therapy, going to counseling, changing your addictive behaviors, actually working on the internal things that are going on, like finding out that I have depression and anxiety and that I have to learn new ways to cope with my feelings other than use drugs. So what do? I go to therapy, talk to my sponsor, I work the 12 steps, I sponsor other people. Hey Brad. And that's the thing, like, so being on Suboxone and just being on it and not going to therapy and not having a sponsor and not going to meetings, yeah, that's not a very good thing. And I could see why people would say maybe you're not in recovery because you're not actively working a program of recovery, And so there's two different things, you guys. It's really, really a sliding scale. But Shane, maybe it does for the opiates, but a lot of people that are on this medication, like me, and the desire to use and drink has totally been removed from me, you guys. Like, I've had such a spiritual experience working with my sponsor from AA and going and helping other people and going to treatment centers and helping other people that are on drugs and telling them my story and trying to work with other people through the 12 steps. I don't ever want to pick up drugs or alcohol ever again. Like, it's so far away from me. Like, I don't, like, even when I get upset or I'm having a bad day, like, my last thing is to think I want to use. And it's because I've worked so hard with my counselors and my therapist on finding out what triggers me and why I want to use and why I want to pick up. I never thought that Suboxone was going to be something that was going to help me at all. I always thought that I wouldn't stay sober, and I never did. I always relapsed, and I've always taken multiple substances, and there's a huge, huge, huge difference, you guys, between, like, the levels of addiction. Like, I believe that if you're using drugs and you can't stop picking up no matter what, that's being addicted. But there are three different different levels when you're an addict. And it's like there's beginning addict, where you're just like popping pills and kicking it and having a good time, and it's not became a problem. Like, I read about it, you guys. Like, I'm not just coming out of you guys from out of the side of my neck. Like, I am telling you guys I'm reading to you guys, like, valid information from a book that talks about addiction. And in that book, in the AA book, Shane, I really want you to get this book because it changed my life. It changed my life learning about the disease that I have, because I wasn't aware what was going on. And maybe being on methadone and Suboxone for 7, 8, 9 years, I can totally understand that you felt differently, but I don't feel like that. And that's not my experience. Like, I'm just now getting to the point where I need to, where I feel like I'm ready to come off these medications, and I'm taking the proper steps to do that, but I arm myself with these facts about my disease, and my disease is cunning, baffling, and powerful. And my disease will tell me, you guys, today, that, girl, go get off your medication. You don't need that shit. And then the next day, I might be fine. I might be fine for a month. And then all of a sudden, bam, I'm back on my back again, relapsed underneath a bridge, smoking joints and shooting dope and fucking shaking my ass for a damn dollar. And that's the thing. Like, that's what I mean by, I'm not saying that because I shot drugs that I'm more addicted to you than you are, because I know a lot of crackheads who smoked that crack pipe that were, whew, they were just as bad as me, if not worse. You know what I mean? And that's not what I'm saying. Like, I feel like my words are being taken out of context. I'm just saying that there are distinct levels to addiction, and it talks about it in the big book. It talks about how, and that's the thing, Shane, but do you feel, and I hope maybe you've seen it now, what I'm saying is when I get on, okay, say I got on like I did in your comment section and I said, I don't drink alcohol at all. And because I don't, like, that's a mind and mood altering substance. And so I'm not getting any kind of relief. So to go out and drink a beer on the weekend and get shit faced drunk or whatever, that is a release, and that is putting something in my body to make me feel differently. I have been on Suboxone for 3 years exactly now. Suboxone don't do shit for me right now. I've been taking it for so long, it's built up into my system. So I'm not getting any kind of relief from it. Okay? I'm not getting any kind of smoking weed relief. I'm not getting any kind of drunk alcohol vodka relief. Like, all I do is take that damn Suboxone strip in the morning because my body's dependent on it now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not changing the way I feel at all. These cigarettes right here, these cigarettes are the most I do to change the way I feel. Okay? And maybe a cup of coffee. But weed and alcohol, like, that's still, then what? So can I not, so do you see what I'm saying? Like, then I could rebuttal with you and say, well then, Shane, you're not clean either. So, and no, I'm not though, because the medication is built up into my system. I cannot feel it anymore. It would be different if I was taking a high, like methadone, where I could get higher on my dose and change the way I felt still and feel that buzz. But I can't, and that's how it is with Suboxone because it's a plateau effect. Buprenorphine and naloxone plateau in the body. I can't feel nothing, and I am on half a strip now. I've went down from 12 milligrams to half a strip. I don't feel shit still, and I'm trying to get down off of a half a strip, and I'm sure that once I get down to about 2 milligrams, then I'll start to feel not, feel the difference between being on Suboxone and not being on Suboxone. But right now, I don't feel anything from it. I don't feel high. I don't feel euphoria. I don't feel sick. I don't feel anything like that. But smoking a joint, that will get me high. Drinking vodka, drinking beer, that will get me drunk. So that's not clean and sober either. So how can you get online, Shane, and say, Nicole, you're not clean. You're working the 12 steps. You're helping others. You're going to meetings. You're sponsoring. You're giving back what was so freely given to you. And you're sharing your experience. And I'm sharing my knowledge from the book of what I've learned about the disease of addiction. When you're drinking alcohol and smoking joints, that don't make no sense, Shane. And I think you realize this. So before you call the kettle black and point the finger, look at your behavior. You're changing the way you feel, homeboy. And I mean this in the lovingest way I could possibly say it. But how can you come at me, somebody who's taking my medication prescribed to me by a doctor at a low dose, when you're taking illicit drugs still and slamming it back with a shot of vodka? Shane, reality check here. Okay? Reality check, dude. You cannot, like, it would be different if you were over there living the clean and sober life and not doing a damn thing, but living the clean and sober life. But see, this is obviously something that you're dealing with inside of you. If you feel a need to come over here to me and say, being on Suboxone is not clean. Because I'm telling you right now, man, I can have a lot of people that can say, it's a dependence. I'm dependent on my medication. That's it. I'm not abusing it. I'm not overtaking it. And I'm working a 12-step program. I'm actively going to counseling and therapy. And that's the difference between you and me. That's the difference. Is I'm still actively working on my recovery and actually going and working with others to learn about my my character defects. And to see, this is one of my character defects right here, is coming out and feeling the need to stick up for myself. But this is a lesson learned to me, because most of the time when somebody's telling you you're not clean, it's because they feel some way about what they're doing. So Shane, I challenge you. I challenge you to not smoke weed and to not drink. Okay? And I'm working on the coming off the Suboxone part, but I'm doing that with my doctor and tapering slowly. So, it's a step by step process. But I will always come to you guys straight up, real, and honest and raw. I'm never going to tell you guys I'm over here living the clean and sober life if I'm drinking and fucking smoking. Okay? I take my medication like it's prescribed to me. And that's fine, Shane, but do you understand, like, is it prescribed to you? Is marijuana prescribed to you? Okay. And drinking, I do remember, like, doesn't drinking cause a little bit of an issue for you? Just think about that, man, okay? Because you can't come over here and say things about me and being not clean if you're not living that life yourself, you know? And that's the thing. Like, if that's your perception and that's the kind of life you want to live and it doesn't hurt you or harm you, then I support that 100%. Like, I will never come over there and tell you, Shane, you're not clean and you're not living your life, da 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 da. But it hurts because you've done that. And I would never do that to you. But right now, I'm kind of calling you out. So I've got to put it out there. And you put it out there for us. Like, at least you're being honest. But you're not on your videos. You're not going over on your video and saying, I have a rant. I don't think you're clean on Suboxone. But I also want to tell y'all that I smoke and I drink. See, you got to put that in there too. You can't leave out the facts. That's like leaving half the story out. Okay? You guys, I work a 12-step program. I work with other people. I live by the principles. And I'm on Suboxone. And I've always been upfront and honest about that. Okay? I never, ever will be. And never will not be. So, yeah, that's it. I mean, I just wanted to say, like, yeah, just because I'm taking Suboxone that's prescribed to me and you're smoking marijuana and drinking alcohol. Did you know alcohol is, it is probably the second worst drug to be addicted to besides benzos and opiates. Like, well, benzos and opiates I put in the same category, and then there's alcohol because you could die, coming off an alcohol. And you guys, don't get me wrong, I used to be an alcoholic son of a bitch. One time I was on probation for 3 years and I couldn't take drugs anymore. I had to stop because I had to pass a piss test. I literally drank every single day before I went to work, when I got off work, and I turned into an alcoholic. Straight lush, y'all. Straight lush. I would go into my job and drink a 40 before I went to clock in because I had to have it because I needed to have that feeling. And that's the thing. With alcohol and marijuana, they change our feelings inside of us. And so if I'm having a bad day and I need to smoke weed and drink alcohol to feel differently, that's like still using drugs and alcohol to cope with feelings and cope with life on life's terms. But see, I'm not going to get off here and go and take a Suboxone strip to change the way I feel. You know why? Because it doesn't do anything because I've been on them for so long. So I'm learning new coping skills. And one of my new coping skills is getting on here and talking to you guys. And Shane, I'm not mad at you, but I think that you're totally coming out of left field, man. You cannot, until you're clean and sober, you can't say nobody else is not clean and sober. It's really like totally backwards. I'm dumbfounded right now. Because for a second there I thought maybe he's clean and sober and he's not doing all these things. But you're over there living your best life smoking weed and drinking. Now you got me over here about to laugh out loud. Okay, and I'm not, like, seriously, I want you to not drink and not smoke. Like, don't you think that maybe that would help to not, maybe if you went to counseling and therapy and got involved with some other guys that are in recovery too, like some dudes that have been sober for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and started doing like sober activities with them and going to meetings with them, that you would may not want to drink and smoke anymore. You know, like, and you guys, the thing about it is, I don't even have a problem with smoking weed. Like, if you want to call yourself clean while you're smoking weed, I think that whatever works for you to stop doing addictive behaviors is clean and sober. And I would never take that away from you. So if smoking pot helps you to not pick up opiates, Shane, I support that. And I think you're clean. And I would never ever tell you that you're not. Now, do I think that alcohol helps you with that? I don't. And I would challenge you to stop drinking, because I think it'll change your life. You know? And that's what a lot of addicts will say, that, well, my problem was only opiates. I promise you, now that you're stopped the opiates, if you continue drinking, you're drinking, if you're a real addict and a real addict or a real alcoholic, your drinking will only get worse. Only get worse, because what happens is, instead of having the opiates to feel differently, you're going to replace it with that alcohol. I promise you, Shane, if I promise, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. If you're a real alcoholic or a real drug addict like I am, it don't matter if it's weed or alcohol or pills or shots of methamphetamine or cocaine. I'm going to use more of that drug to counteract the other situation. And that's why Suboxone is so amazing, because I can't use more of it to do anything, because it don't do anything. And you guys, I have always been honest with you guys. When I first got on Suboxone 3 years ago, I thought, oh, maybe this is like methadone. Maybe if I take more, it'll make me feel differently. So I would take a half a strip more when I was having a bad day. And I've struggled with that before, and I've realized it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything to me, you know? And Shane, listen, baby, still, you're still talking about it. Like, first of all, I'm not on a high dose of opiates. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm on an opioid, and it's a low, low dose. Um, for me at least, because like I said, I was shooting dope every day. And so, but it's totally different, man. It's totally different. And I really want to encourage you to, instead of separating yourself and feeling the need to say that, oh, well, you're not clean, instead embrace others who are going through what I'm going through, and what several other people in America are going, millions of other people are going through, and lift them up and say, I'm proud of you for taking the decision to change your life. I'm proud of you for actively searching and trying to obtain recovery and changing your life and getting on Suboxone, so that way you're not doing addictive behaviors anymore. Because that's what it's all about, you guys. It's about changing our lives and not practicing addictive behaviors. It's about giving back what is our the recovery that I've learned about. I get on here and I learn it to you guys, and I tell you guys what I've learned, so that way maybe it can help you. And what I've learned, you guys, is that my opinion has no place in recovery. No place whatsoever, because what I'm doing is trying to help others. And just like I said, my opinion about weed is I can't smoke it. I can't smoke it, you guys, because I'll be a weed head. I will never get up. I'll be laying on the couch comatose all day long, eating bonbons and eating chocolate biscuits. I can't do it, because my ass is a real drug addict. And anything I can take that's going to make me feel differently, I'm going to take it more and more and more and more. You know, when I drink coffee, I will drink 5 cups in the morning sometimes, because caffeine makes me feel good, you know? And if we all want to really argue about it, then we could go all the way down to mind and mood altering substances such as caffeine and cigarettes, you know? But that's just petty. That's just petty. Um, So when I was talking about, like I was just trying to give you guys the knowledge that I've learned from working with a woman who's got 31 years of sobriety, my sponsor, and by learning about the disease of addiction. You know what I mean? Like I have learned, and that, see the Shane, that's what our addict self does. Our addict self is going to drink all that caffeine because that caffeine makes me feel differently. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if we all want to get like really technical, then nobody's really clean. Nobody's really um, off all mind and mood altering substances, you know? So, do you see where I'm coming from? I hope that maybe I've changed a little bit of your thinking. Um, and maybe it will help, you to see differently. You know, um, I know that I used to be just like you. I used to feel that same way. And until I got in the position with my back against the wall and I was going to lose my son. And it was the scariest thing in my whole entire life, you guys, because my son actually made me feel like I was worth having a life of sobriety. And I never felt like I was worth it before. And my life is so different now. You know, Shane, I don't do nothing. I don't smoke. I don't drink on the weekends. I take care of my son every day, all day. That's my life today. And I work. I don't want to have to take drugs or alcohol to feel differently. And that's why I'm working so hard on my sobriety and going to meetings. Like, it has taken me so many years. It's taken me all 3 of these years to finally realize the reason I used drugs and alcohol was because I felt so shitty about myself. Because they made me actually feel different and they made me not think about how I felt about being fat or how I never felt like I made my family happy or how I felt less than you. And that's why this bothers me so much, because I've always felt less than. And when somebody comes on and says you're not clean, it triggers the fuck out of me. Because I've always struggled with feeling inadequate. So it's like I go guns blazing when somebody comes at me with that, Because I've worked so fucking hard, you guys. So hard to not do that shit that I was doing. I was a straight criminal ass bitch. And you guys, like, Shane, I don't have my family to save my ass if I fucking fuck up. They're done. They got done when I was 18. They threw my ass out when I was 18 years old. I'm 36 and just now got 3 years in recovery. They moved to another state because my dad was literally about to have a heart attack because I was fucking my family up. My mom and dad don't have money to put me up in a house or pay my rent or buy me a car or anything like that, you guys. My mom and dad are hardworking people that just have their own stuff, Hey, premium product. I'm glad you found me too. And I'm trying so hard, you guys, to just, like, I want you guys to see that, like, I'm human and it hurts my heart because I want everybody to feel good about themselves. And I don't want Shane to feel bad about himself. I don't want me to feel bad about myself. It just breaks my heart, Shane, because I really, really found your channel because you were on maintenance medications, and I thought, this is somebody that I can watch because I am going to be coming off my medication and I need to see this, and I watched all your videos, and then you got off the medicine and it's like you flip-flopped on me. It's like you changed. It's like, how? That's not right. You're supposed to have our backs for people that are like us.
So when you draw that line in the sand, like, yo, you're not clean, that right there, dude, when somebody says that to me, I'm like, dude, come up off your ego for a second. Come up off your ego. Lower yourself down a few notches. Because that's what the thing is. That's another thing I've learned in recovery, you guys. Ego and pride is a son of a bitch. And ego and pride will keep me out in my addiction. My ego and my pride tells me I don't need to ask for help. My ego and pride tells me I know what's good for me. You don't know. My ego and pride tells me I don't need to go to a meeting. I don't need a sponsor. I don't need NA. I don't need AA. I don't need nothing. That's bullshit. Because being in recovery and getting sober is the hardest thing you're ever gonna fucking do. And you gotta have fucking support to do it. Do you know what I'm saying? You got to have support to do it. And you gotta reach out for help. You can, like, I'm telling you right now, when you are in your darkest hour and you are trying so hard not to pick up drugs and not to shoot up and not to do cocaine or not to pick up opiates, that support and picking up that phone and texting somebody or calling somebody or going to a meeting or just pulling your head up out of your ass and getting on here and making a video. I promise you guys, that's when that ego and that pride is smashed and you're like open and raw and you're like, I need help. I can't do this alone. And I cannot tell you, like, the healing power that I have experienced from just opening up my heart and opening my hands and saying, I cannot do this alone. I need help. Because drugs took everything good away from me. All the things I had as a young girl, all the things that I thought that I might be, never got to do it. Never got to be a lawyer. Never got to go and buy a brand new car. My dream car was a red Honda Civic with a black bra. No, never got that car. Because I was smashing cars, you know, like a dumbass. And that's because I felt like I didn't have to ask for help. That's because I thought I should be strong enough. I shouldn't have to ask for help. I've got this. Shh, Nikki. Nikki. Sorry, Mom. Come on, Nikki.
No, it's okay.
I'm going to take her outside with me, okay?
Oh, okay. Oh, you
Do you have a
want me?
lighter?
Do I have a letter?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go lay down. What time is it?
It's 2:30. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just talking to my YouTube people. You want me to take her out?
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
What?
What are you doing? All right, you guys, I got to go. My little boy just woke up. But I love you guys, okay? I'm glad we got to talk. Y'all always help me feel better, and I got that stuff off my chest. So I love you guys. Love you too, Shane. I'm not mad at you. All right, bye.